What's going on, people, and welcome to another top 10. This week the winner was Juventus. At the time that I stopped the poll, it was Juventus. I think it might be tied up now with AC Milan, but I've picked Juventus for this one. Thank you for everyone that got involved in the polls. Always check the community tabs, guys, because I will update it at times and I might forget to remind you for a while. So always check the community tab so I don't have to keep posting videos saying come and vote on the polls and that, because I need to do a video for you guys in the next few days. So make sure you always go to the community tab and just stay up to date with the channel. But yeah, Juventus is the winner this week. Let's get into it. In at number 10, a guy that's still going and the current captain, Bonucci. He's been through, he went to AC Milan. He's been playing since I can remember. He's now the captain, taking over from Kolini when he left. Also a Euros winner against England, vital part of that team. He can come up in massive moments in games when his team needs him, score headers from corners and stuff in late times in games, and get his team through. And he's just a warrior, that passion that Italians have. Like, he's fully got it, you can tell, from his performances and just his passion on the pitch, and it comes out in most of the time on the winning side. So Bonucci, number 10. Number 9, Nedved. I don't know if a lot of you that watch me will know this guy, but if you're younger than me, you might not know him. But I grew up seeing him a lot. Champions League for Juventus, Lazio in his earlier days, and also for the Czech Republic. I thought he was very good for his country in tournaments when they did feature. Never won nothing with his country, but he was a vital part of that, his country's side and the club teams he was at. And Juventus, I just remember the long blonde hair, the set piece ability, free kicks, corners, and he could score bangers as well. I think he's involved behind the scenes at Juventus now. And you always see him in like the when they do the Champions League draws. I think he's like the club director or something. So you always see him sitting in the crowd there in the audience. So Nedved, great player, in at number 9. Number 8, Cannavaro. I believe, now I could be wrong, but I believe he's the only centre-back to win a Ballon d'Or. Fantastic defender, brilliant in one-on-ones, quite quick. For a centre-back, he was quite small, but because he was so good and clever at reading things before they happened, he rarely got caught in position and out of position. Strong for someone his size as well, and he also won a World Cup as well as the captain. So Cannavaro, very underrated, I think, in terms of footballing history, and one of the best defenders we've ever seen. And he doesn't always get spoken about, I don't think, so has to make the list for me. Cannavaro, number 8. In at number 7, David Trezeguet. Another one that I think's underrated, never really gets spoken about. Won 98 World Cup, and then the Euros 2000, which I believe he scored a golden goal in to win the tournament for France. But I remember him with his partnership for Juventus over the years with Piero, and he was an underrated goal scorer and an underrated team player for me. So many clutch moments where he'd get his team the points and the win. And he did it for France on a few occasions that I remember too. I think he was a very underrated player, one that I remember, and his name and just some of the goals he scored. Very fundamental to the teams he was at, country or club. And I think he was a very underrated goal scorer. Trezeguet, number 7. Number 6, one of my favourite all-time players, just in terms of nostalgia, but ability, aggression, all-roundness, Edgar Davids. Time at Juventus, but also coming through the youth as a young guy at Ajax, and a brilliant player even at that point. Obviously near the end of his career, he played at Barnet, which is just crazy. And before that, he was at Tottenham for a little bit. I was very excited when he went to Tottenham, I remember. It was a massive deal at the time. I remember the goggles as well, the eyewear stuff that he had to wear because of the eye condition he had. But that just added to the nostalgia and the memories I had of him in like the Nike adverts growing up, and like being brilliant, a technician on the ball, but he was also aggressive. He could do all parts of the game, and just a very underrated player, and I think one of the best midfielders I've ever seen. So Edgar Davids, number 6. Number 5, a rock at the back, at right back, but could play centre back, could probably play left back if you wanted him to as well, and probably even do a job in midfield because he was a very well-rounded player and a leader as well. Lilian Thuram. Obviously, a vital part of the France '98 team, and just France teams throughout the years as well. A really rock-solid right back. Pacey for someone his size. He was quite a big guy, but very quick. Strong, it was like he's made of granite. And he could score the odd goal as well for you. And like I said, I feel like he was a leader without being the captain at times, just through his performances. And he dragged teammates through and up to his standards to get results. And I think he's a very underrated right back and just defender in general. So Thuram, number 5. Number 4, a guy that recently left Juventus and is now playing for Los Angeles FC. And he was kind of like the big brother to Bonucci with that Euros when he was the captain. And that is Chiellini. Now, for the Euros win at Wembley in our own backyard, which we should have won, it got to penalties, and our players looked shell-shocked and nervous before the penalties even started. You know, when the captains go to the centre spot to flip the coin in that and decide which end and stuff? Chiellini's joking about, along with others, and they look relaxed and that they know they're already going to win it. And all of our players look like they're bricking it. And look what happened. And that's not by accident. That's a mindset before you even get going. And Chiellini's always had it. Very clever, getting away with sneaky fouls from like corners and things. But he would score you goals at vital times. Could get forward. Wasn't the quickest guy, but the strength on the guy, the cleverness, never really got caught. Just a fantastic, tough defender. And what a servant to Juventus he was as well, all the years he was there. But a fundamental player for club and country again. Brilliant leader, one of the best to ever do it. Chiellini, number 4. Number 3, Perlo. Now, a guy that was more attacking when in his younger years, then went to that kind of deep line playmaker role as he got older, and just a technician on the ball. I remember several times in tournaments where he just completely took over games single-handedly. Free kicks when you need them at clutch times, lead by performance. Just, as I said, changed his game up when he got older and switched positions and was just world class and one of the best, if not the best at the time, doing what he was doing. I can't say enough good things about him, as I said, like corners, set pieces, he was scoring, banging free kicks in as he liked. And even though he wasn't the quickest, he could literally do walking football and people still couldn't get the ball off him. Like, he was that good and clever. Perlo, number 3. Number 2, Buffon. Easily could have been number 1 for me, servant of the club. I believe he made his debut in 1990 for Parma, which was the year I was born. So he's been playing that long. He's only recently retired. I know he's heavily involved behind the scenes at Juventus now. But what a goalkeeper. One of the best ever to do it for me in the history of football. I'd have him in top 3 goalkeepers all time. Never won a Champions League, which was a shame, because he definitely deserved it and was good enough. But he never quite got that. But won a ton of other things. Obviously won a World Cup. Brilliant keeper. As I said, top 3 all-time keepers for me. Leader, captain. He could lead even if he wasn't the one with the armband on. Penalties, he was fantastic from as well. Very not underrated, but like, I don't think he always gets his flowers. But a lot of people do, but a lot of people don't as well. So for me, I ain't mistaking it. He was a brilliant goalkeeper. A great player. The longevity he had. If we're going on longevity, this guy should be number 1. But I've got him in at number 2. But Gianluigi Buffon, number 2. And number 1, guys, I couldn't have anyone else. Just clutch when you wanted him to be. He won a World Cup with his country, Italy, as well. And one that Ferguson tried to sign for United. And at the time, Del Piero wouldn't come because of his loyalty towards Juventus, which speaks volumes. And it speaks volumes that someone of Alex Ferguson's calibre was going after him, and he still said no. You got to respect it. Del Piero, fantastic technician, Played a lot of the number 10 role, but could also go up front if you wanted him to and needed him to, and do a fantastic job and get you a couple goals. Won the World Cup in his later years as well, which was even more impressive, and was a vital part in getting them goals later on in the tournament. And yeah, just a fantastic player, one that I miss watching a lot. Just technique galore. Wasn't the quickest ever, but he was very clever. Good dribbler of the ball, set pieces, could ping a ball as well, passing, shooting, could score bangers, and just a fantastic player. And probably should have won a little bit more than he did, but he did win a fair few things anyway. But I wish we could have seen him at United and just in the Premier League, because he was a fantastic player, and one that, if you don't know about him, you youngsters that watch me, go and do your research and check this guy out. Del Piero, in at number 1. So that is it this week, guys, for my all-time top 10. I'll put another vote in the community tab, so get voting on the poll. As I said, it could have been AC Milan, but when I picked the poll, Juventus were winning. So I will pick it when I feel like I should stop the polls, guys. So make sure you check the community tab. I'll put a new one up shortly and get voting on it for next week's top 10. And I will be bringing a new NBA top 10 coming very soon as well. And later today, I'm going to be doing a Manchester United preview for their game on Sunday as well. So look out for that later today dropping. Appreciate everyone's support. And before I go, what are you waiting for? I said, what are you waiting for? 2,000 subscribers by the 1st of December, but I want it in November. Before December, but I can only do it with your help. What are you waiting for? I'll catch you on the next one.